Republican Congressman Chip Roy of the great state of Texas, member of the Budget, Rules, and Judiciary Committees, is in focus now. Good to see you. First of all, the bill, as I mentioned, had so many more billions of dollars, 3 times the amount for Ukraine than what originally was supposed to go for border security. Where are we now in terms of it reaching the House?
Well, first of all, I think I might submit a bill pretty soon that will rename Texas to Ukraine. Then maybe this administration and even senators will focus on securing the border of the United States.
It might take that.
I mean, look, I've never seen the nursing home known as the United States Senate work harder than when it comes to spending the American people's money for foreign wars. That's what's going on here. And by the way, is there anything more cynical than having Republicans sitting around defending their votes to send $60 billion to Ukraine than saying that will help our defense industrial base, that will help American businesses? Since when do we have economic development that is being driven by funding war overseas? That's what's happening in the U.S. Senate. Because anybody that's sane and sees what's happening at our southern border would know that you cannot fund foreign wars while our border is wide open and exposed to criminals and lawlessness and terrorists that are coming across the border. We're still feeling it in Texas, even though, thanks to Governor Abbott and those that have been fighting down in Eagle Pass, most of the numbers are now heading to Arizona and California. But this is an ongoing problem. You know, 7,000 crossed the other day. 139 of them were Chinese foreign nationals. That's where the priority of the American people is. That's where my priority is. And I think that is where the priority is for Speaker Mike Johnson. He was pretty clear yesterday that this abomination of a bill that came out of the Senate that those 22 Republicans should not have voted for, that bill will be dead when it comes to the House.
Real quickly, you know, has there been a push to sit down with President Biden and talk to him about flipping the switch? And I know he doesn't want to hear Trump policies. Maybe you could name them something else, like little candies that work well. I don't know. But what about that? Because waiting for all of this sausage to be made is leaving that border open longer than it needs to be, and he could take action.
Yeah, he could take action right now. He certainly could limit the flow enormously. It's not a quick fix that the executive can just wave his wand and take care of it immediately. We do need to pass laws to give him tools or force him to the table and to give a hopefully future President Trump tools. But the bottom line is they don't have any interest in sitting down at the table. Their interest is the chaos created by wide open borders. It is purposeful. It is being designed to flood the zone, to remake America. It's not just political. They want to remake America. They want to end Western civilization. They want to flood the zone with people from all over the world at a time when we have 50 million people who are foreign born in the United States. They are doing this for a reason. It is crass. Frankly, my Democratic colleagues are now the colonizers. They're going around trying to force their will and their beliefs on everybody around the world, including, for example, countries in Africa who dare to say that marriage is between one man and one woman. These Democrats are radicals. They want to remake our country, and they're doing it right now at our southern border. Republicans need to lock arms and stand up and defend the border instead of just preaching about the border and campaigning on it. They need to stand up and do something about it. And there's 22 Republicans who voted for that bad bill, abomination of a bill, should be ashamed of doing this to the American people, perpetuating open borders while funding the border security of Ukraine, Taiwan, and Israel.
Congressman, the impeachment of the man whose responsibility it was to implement the laws on the books with immigration. Republicans now are set to tee up a second vote, now tonight, aiming to impeach Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. 1 week ago, they first voted narrowly, and that failed. This time, they'll have an additional vote with House Majority Leader Steve Scalise back from cancer treatments, thank the good Lord. And former Affairs Committee Chair Mike McCall of Texas was on with me yesterday. Watch. Why can't you fire this man? Why didn't the Republicans get it done? Why didn't you?
Well, we're going to on Tuesday. Steve Scalise is coming back. I'll be a floor manager in the trial. This man is the architect of destruction, and he has caused the chaos knowingly. Really by design, not by accident.
Well, it's Tuesday, and now it's Tuesday night. Tell me about this evening.
Yeah, well, number one, we got to get everybody into town. We've got this storm blowing up to the northeast. We got to make sure everybody comes into town so that we have the 216 votes that will be needed for us to get that done. God bless Steve Scalise. You're exactly right. I fought cancer at MD Anderson. That's where Steve is fighting cancer, and we're all praying for him. And I'm glad that he's coming back and he's going to stand up because he knows what we need to do. And it's not just political. This is important. Alejandro Mayorkas needs to be held accountable. He deserves to be the second cabinet secretary impeached because he has been endangering the American people while flagrantly violating his oath to defend the laws of the United States. And you know what? We're going to get those votes. Whether it happens tonight or tomorrow, we're going to get those votes because he needs to be impeached. And you know what? We will see what happens. But I want to give a shout out to my great team. They're the ones that put forward the first articulation of the reasons to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas in 2021, almost 3 years ago. We made the case then. We knew it a mere 9 months into this administration, and we've been making the case ever since.
Well, you've made
and I
it
hope
on
the
this
impeachment
program.
managers will do the job. Yes,
Yeah,
I have. We talked about it here.
Yep, we have. And that bit that you shared about your health, God bless you too.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing well. All right, sir, we will talk to you on the flip side of a nighttime impeachment vote on the Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you very much.
God bless Harris.
You too.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.